Howdy YouTube. Today we're taking a look at a really cool model. We're taking a look at a 1 to 12 scale model of the Tyrrell P34. Certainly one of the weirder Formula 1 cars ever made. Definitely one of my favourites though. P34 reminds me of the World War II fighter. I'm not sure if that was why it was named. It certainly was a very revolutionary design. They definitely turned a lot of heads at the time. Certainly something very interesting in the Formula 1 landscape, where they're experimenting at the time with a lot of different aero and I guess I'm not sure what the backstory behind the extra wheels were, but the car itself just looks awesome. One thing I think is really cool, in an era where Formula 1 tyres were getting thicker and deeper dish rims, Goodyear went with a 10-inch tyre for the front for the famous six-wheeled Tyrrell. I think it's really cool. What's amazing too is that this actually did win a Grand Prix. I believe it only won one Grand Prix from memory, which is awesome. You know, I mean, how cool is that? Now you would never get away with designing something as radical as this. Modern Formula 1 cars, for those who follow it, are just too high-tech and too computer-focused. This is really awesome, really old school, certainly a beautiful looking model. It's actually plastic, it's not metal, and I picked this up off Gumtree along with a Lola T70 for $60 the pair, which is just a steal, especially considering how well this has been made and produced, the level of detail, and although it's plastic, it's an impressive model. It is a big car, which is awesome. Now, the actual car in real life was powered by a Cosworth Ford V8 from memory. And then the rest of the car, other than the extra wheels, is pretty much your standard Formula 1 at the time. It's just got that elongated design, which I love. I think it's awesome. I'll zoom in on some stuff so you guys can see, because the level of detail is fantastic. The guy that made this actually did a really good job. The only downside I have is that the way he's glued the wheels on, it turns a little bit, but it's pretty stiff, and he's got them angled in this turning direction, which I'm not the biggest fan of. If I'm honest, it would have been better if they were straight, but still really cool. Nice shot of the car from the front there, and taking a look on the other side, we see obviously it was driven by Jody Scheckter, who won a world title with Ferrari in 1979, I believe, which is a big shame, because it would have been nice if one of my favourites, Gilles Villeneuve, had have won it that year, which really the only reason he didn't win was due to his loyalty to the team, which ended up backfiring when Didier Pironi double-crossed him, and eventually Villeneuve ended up dying. So pretty sad there, but good on Scheckter. Won the world title, and certainly must have impressed some people with this Tyrrell. I believe in the early 80s they changed the regulations and actually banned this sort of stuff from ever being created again. Which is a shame, because it's just such a cool car and something so different. As you can see, sponsored by Elf, Fuel, Tyrrell on the front there, Champion, some other sponsors there, which I think is really cool. Just so you guys can see the detail on this, whoever painted it did an incredible job. They nailed the engine, that's for sure. And then taking a look at the radiators on the side, I think is really cool. There is some, the decals are peeling off a little bit. I wish I knew what kit it was, so I could tell you a little bit more about it and actually look it up. But I'm a huge fan of this car. I love it, and the price I paid for it is just fantastic, to be honest with you. You can see the detail there in the cockpit. Really cool model, something very different, that's for sure. Me personally, I haven't got the patience for building models. I've tried it a few times before and failed pretty miserably. Some are okay. Planes I'm not too bad with, but cars I'm not that great. So it was very refreshing to find and purchase something that was already done, and to a much higher standard than I was ever capable of. So really cool model. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this review on something very different, and that of course is the Grand Prix winning Tyrrell P34. Very quickly before I go, I just wanted to end the review with a comparison. You can see the difference between a 1/18 scale and then a much bigger 112. So really, really cool, awesome model. If you get a chance and you find this kit, I think it'll be a lot of fun to make and definitely well worth picking up.